All right, our next item is the Business of the Year. The qualifications for this award are that they must be in good standing with the Chamber for at least 1 year, show community involvement such as time donated for community projects, sponsorships, and contributions of financial resources or facilities, labor, and equipment. To present this year is a team effort. It looks like we have Jill Johnson and Greta Edmonds. Am I correct? Come on.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting us to your annual spring dinner. We are happy to share with you the history that we have known about candy making in New Bethlehem. Our mother knew a lot of the history, and from what we know of her records and from what people have shared with us is what we're going to share with you tonight. The business started out in the 1930s as a small building that once stood on Hunter Way Street. It's kind of between the feed mill and Macaulay's garage. It was first owned by two Greek immigrants who were brothers, George Damascus, who later changed his name to Davis, and John Palaskis. It was known at that time as Olympian Candies. It was named after John's birthplace in Greece. Many of the recipes that we use today were originally written in Greek. It was a habit practiced by Palaskis in order to keep the candy secret. The original workers included Mary Keener, bookkeeper, Dorothy Smith, head dipper, and Greta and I spent many hours sitting beside Dorothy and watching her hand dip. Mary Spangler, Jean Kunzelman, Bill Johnson, and Herb Dreher. In 1948, Greensburg residents Carl Ringler and Tom Dix purchased Olympian Candy and moved the business to a brick building across from the peanut butter factory. That building still stands today. They named the company after their wives, Charlotte and Valerie. Even though the two men only owned the company for 3 years, they later sold it to Robert Angler. The name Char-Val Candies remained just as it does today. Robert Angler had the company from 1951 to 1957. When he sold it to Doug Crow. Doug Crow then moved the business from Keck Avenue to the former Redbank Valley Administration Building along Route 66. That location now is the Columbia Gas Building. In 1961, Dad and Robert Orr acquired the business from Doug Crow. In 1972, they purchased the bowling alley, known as Leisure Lanes, in order to expand the candy business.
Dad, do you want to speak about that?
What an honor, after 49 years, to be present. I thank you all that you have done to support Char-Val Candies over the years. I've loved every day of it. Never was tired to get up in the morning and hated to go to bed at night because I loved it. It was part of my life. And how I ended up with it, Doug and I, in the summertime when we couldn't work outside, we met and got pretty close together, and I delivered candy for him for 3 years in the wintertime. And the more I was there, the more I would like to be a part of that candy business someday. Thinking it would be a dream, but I talked to him about it one time, and he said, well, you'll be first that I'll give that chance to if I sell. Doorbell rang one evening, and Janet answered the door. She said, a gentleman here wants to talk to you. We talked a few minutes, and he said, are you still interested? And I said, yes. He said, it's for sale. Give me figures. He said, you got 3 days. I didn't have $3. 3 days. But fortunately, Bob and Maxine were very close to us, like mother and dad. And went to work to come up with the funds, come up with the money, and became a reality. And Bob said, do you know much about the business? I said, I can deliver. He said, you have to know how to make it. Fortunately, the crew that we had has been God sent to us over 49 years. This crew is with me today. They're going to introduce them after a while. But you talk a blessing. They're a blessing to the three of us because they gave their heart to us. And I think things like that is what makes it so precious. And then when you come to my age and you get honored like this, I don't have the words really to explain it and bring it to what I really mean, other than I'm very humble, I'm very honored, and I love every one of you that had a part in this to make it a reality to me. I'll take that to my grave with me. And down the road, be with my wife. She gave the best to me. And you know, I had to work 2 jobs, and in doing that, when I'd come home at night and hurry up and get my clothes shaved and all and bathed, I would have to go out and run a shift at midnight. Couldn't keep them after midnight, but I didn't have the money to help clean me up. So it was stay, and it was 2:30, 3 o'clock till I get home. But my wife was waiting on me. She always had a couple songs to sing to me to help me. And the one that was so precious to me was Stand By Your Man. If you never heard that, it fit my occasion. And then towards the last, I have to tell you, come home one night and Janet and Red and Jill were standing beside their mother and said, the girl has something to say to you. So I said, okay. So Rita said, Dad, we broke a piece of Mom's.
Vase.
Yeah.
A vase.
Yeah. And what wrong? This one come looked at me, she said, Dad, it was an accident. She had her A's and her X's twisted. But believe me, to this day, this crew that they're going to introduce, there isn't a year goes by that somebody don't come to me and say, we just had an accident. brings back a lot of memories, and I'm honored, I'm grateful, and to have 2 daughters still standing beside me is part of my life. Thank you.
Just a little bit about our family. Mom had a big sweet tooth. She would have rather started with dessert and then the main course. But as a child hungry for chocolate, she used to visit Reinsold's drugstore on Broad Street. And she would purchase the little white rabbits, never thinking that someday she would be part of that candy business. As Dad had mentioned, he's always been a hard worker. My sister and I were 6 and 4 at the time that he and Uncle Bob bought the business. I won't take the time to clarify who was 6 and who was 4. But through most of our childhood, he worked 2 jobs, as he said. One is a master carpenter in Pittsburgh by day, and then as owner-operator running a 2nd shift at the candy plant by night. He would come home from Pittsburgh, shower, change, and head to the plant and work until midnight, 1, 2 a.m., only to go home, sleep a few hours, and repeat that process. Our parents were both graduates of Redbank Valley High School, class of '56. After marriage, they rented an apartment in Putneyville before moving to Vine Street to live and raise their family. Jill and I spent a lot of our young lives at the candy plant. We would build forts out of the Wilbur chocolate boxes to pass the time, and then as we got older, we were put to work. picking candy off the enrober line, bagging molds, cutting turtles on the marble slabs, you name it, we did it. And Mom worked as the secretary bookkeeper. Mom and Dad have always been generous in their support of families in our area. They early on worked with the school to identify families who could not make ends meet, and they traveled to Pittsburgh to obtain food through Dolly Madison. They brought it back and repackaged it to make home visits. They home delivered food to families. They also worked with the state police. Bud Wills was a big part of that, to provide gifts for children at Christmas. And they've been a supporter of Little League over the years, knowing firsthand through their own grandchildren how important that program is for youth in our area. He continues to support the vision for strengthening families and providing opportunities for youth programs by investing in the new construction for the Clarion County YMCA. And then there's our annual Easter sale with deeply discounted treats so that everyone can afford a peanut butter egg or two. At this time, Allie and Nick will introduce our employees.
Please stand where your name is called. Janet Martz, 40 years. Penny
Before you go on, let me tell you. When the secretary now, I called her and, said, we'd like to have you here. And she said, I put up with the old fort for 40 years.
Penny Procious, 20 years. Sue Adams, 18 years. Becky Simpson, 18 years. Shauna Delp, 5 years. Deb Barr, 2 years. And Tori Gaston, 1 year. Now, Grandpa, we would like to present this award to you, Nick and I. We love you.
Congratulations.
You earned it. Love you.